Welcome to LoJoLife, where we talk about everything from business to family and everything in between. So today I'm going to talk to you about a subject that I had to come up to a solution with a problem I was having after the divorce. So as the man of the house, I was always the disciplinarian when we were together. And I know when we first got divorced, I really softened and I really almost overcorrected because I felt bad because they didn't have that softer presence in the house to kind of offset the authoritative figure in what I am. And I took my foot off the gas way too much. And I didn't know how to punish them in a way that, one, wasn't just overbearing, but two, also allowed me to still insert that softer and loving side. Well, after about a year, I had started to want to make some changes, and I didn't know what to do. I was getting frustrated because I didn't have specific punishments for specific behavior, and I was not happy with some of the things that were happening. So I started doing some brainstorming, and one of the things that I like to do is create processes and figure out how to solve a problem. So I decided that after some research and just throwing some ideas around, that I would create a behavior chart. And the basis behind this was we would be assigning specific punishments for specific things that were happening all the time that we needed to nip in the bud. And in a way where there was an escalation if things kept happening, but it wasn't just random, because kids do need structure and they do need to know what to expect. If they go and fight and I give them one punishment one time and a different punishment the other time, that's hard for them to understand what to expect. And I decided to do this, and I was getting frustrated. I was yelling a lot more than I do because I don't like to yell. And they were yelling because I was yelling, so they do what they see. And I'm a big proponent of practice what you preach. So I decided to come up with this behavior chart here. And what we did was I sat down with the kids after I came up with a list of what I would like to see out of this. And the three of us brainstormed and we decided, okay, what are areas that we all know we need to work on? And we came up with a list, and then we said, okay, what can potential punishments be for this? So it was a very collective effort. All three of us put in a lot of time and effort into what this would look like. Now, there's a caveat to it is, obviously, sitting down with them at a table, we're not going to come up with every solution right away. So this is a living document, and we understood that if a new item that came up was not on this chart, you're not punished that first time, but we will have a talk about it and we will assign a punishment going forward. Now, it kind of bit me in the ass a little bit because my oldest is very much like me. He went out of his way for about a week and a half. Everything on this chart, he was perfect. But he went out of his way for like a week and a half to 2 weeks to find any and everything he could find that's not on this chart, just to say it's not on this chart. And that's how we added to the list. I actually have to update this from what's here with some things I've added. But we also put a reward system too. Like if there's behavior that they like or that we like and we want to encourage, they can earn tickets, which they can later turn in for money. Kind of like instead of an allowance. And it's not necessarily just for chores, but it's for good behavior. It's for taking accountability. It's for showing integrity. And there's this like little clip up and clip down feature that I took from the school where their behavior, they can go up and down and they can get different tickets based on where that's at. But like a perfect example of like a reward system is accountability is huge for me. It means so much. And in real life and in the real world, people appreciate when you take accountability when you mess up. It's just a fact. I appreciate it. I'm sure you appreciate it. So if they get in trouble and say they're fighting and they're going to be in timeout for 20 minutes, but Logan takes a accountability of what he did and what happened in that, well, he can get a 5-minute reduction from his timeout because he was honest and fessed up to it. And then that's just an example. It works across the board, but it's a way for them to still be encouraged to do the right thing, even if they mess up. Because one thing I know growing up for me that was tough was if you got in trouble, that was it. There was end of discussion. And in some ways that's true, but in the real world, is that true? I mean, if I mess up at work, I'm going to get in more trouble if I lie about it, cover it up, and get caught than if I just fess up and I deal with it. And that wasn't kind of part of the system growing up for me. So I wanted to add that because I think that mirrors the real world a little more. I'm not about coddling all the time. I'm not about giving what they want all the time. There's a balance there. I'm not being like that strict with it because, again, it's not necessarily how it works in the real world in most cases. In some cases it does. And I do have a very hard line on the lying, on the accountability, the integrity, stuff like that. But there is some give and take there. So this is not something you have to do, even specifically, but it's an idea of a way to maybe handle the kids a little bit differently. And the other key to this is a daily schedule we have. At this time, we expect to do this. At this time, we expect to do that. And that helps, one, give them an understanding of what's going to happen throughout the day. Two, it limits their tablet time, which is important for a lot of reasons. One, I want my kids to be outside active and using their minds. Two, if you've got an hour of tablet time a day, now it matters if you lose tablet time. There's real consequences to it. I do know some parents that hand a tablet to their kid. That's pretty much their entire day. I'm a lot more lax on the weekends. There's a lot more time for them to play on the weekends, but they still have family time. And that's the other thing too, is every single day I have built in at least 45 minutes where the three of us play. It's 100% what they want to do. Whether we're wrestling, whether we're playing Pokemon, whatever it is we're doing, it is built in structured time every single day. So I'm getting one-on-one time with my kids. And as they get older, I'll start sprinkling in real life talks and chats and structuring that in for things that I want them to know about. Different things like finances, different things like sex, different things like just general problems that you encounter as you get older. And it's there, it's built in. So, because if you don't plan for life, you'll never get it in. And there's a lot of people that don't spend that quality time with their kids. And I refuse to be that guy because I think it's extremely important for them. So that is what today's video is about. Just an idea of finding a way to give them structure, have consequences, have rewards, and just have a set expectation. I'm a structured guy, so if I have that in place, it's a lot easier for me to be calm. I don't need to yell at them. They know what to expect. Now, there are always things that come outside the realm of this. Like today, I never shoot at my house, and my boys are here, and there was a little bit of a confusion, and they didn't listen to what I had told them, but they knew what the consequence was, and as soon as they did it, they're in their rooms while we film. And that's just because they weren't able to keep it down. So that's an outlying factor, but they know what to expect because we talked about it beforehand. So it's just being flexible while having the structure. So I hope this was helpful for somebody. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and comment below if you'd like to see more information like this.